Hi, my name's David Middleton, and I'm going to talk to you about government support to go backpacking. Would you believe it if I said the government would give you a wad of cash if you jacked in your boring job and went backpacking abroad for a year? Because you can claim back the income tax you already paid for the year ending March 31st from when you quit your job, making September or October good times to go, as you will have already used your low tax bracket allowances of up to 48,000 at 17.5%, with the first 14,000 at 10%, and maybe some at higher tax brackets. What incentive does the government give you to keep working in your home country year after year, which is often a thankless task? Well, not a lot, as they tax you heavily, and you also have less disposable income as costs rise through inflation year on year. But by some strange quirk, when you piss off for a year-long jolly abroad, they bend over backwards to make sure you have your airfare, pocket money, as well as a dole when you return. Don't forget the tax perk works both ways as well. When you come back halfway through the next tax year, your tax-free allowance has not been touched, so you pay a lot less tax per month in the part of the year remaining. Don't work too much of a tax year, making a rebate meaningless, i.e. the UK has a tax-free allowance of 10,000 English pounds, so this could be as much as 50% of a low £20,000 wage for the first 6 months, as opposed to only 25% of a higher £40,000 salary. The Inland Revenue Department will also pay you in advance before you leave if you declare that you will not work for the remainder of the tax year in your home country. Based on this example, it works out on average at $1,200 or 600 English pounds of money up front, and this could cover a cheap outbound flight, so get packing and travel to New Zealand, Australia. If you're in Australia, you could go to the UK or Canada on any of their working holiday schemes or other work visas. You can also lower your tax rate paid on bank interest through resident withholding tax or on dividends in advance. But if you forget or are unsure what your final earnings will be, you can claim back the tax on interest paid at the higher rate for up to 5 years afterwards. Furthermore, if you have your own home, then you can rent it out as well to net at least $8,000 per annum while you are away, after mortgage payments and other costs, as well as getting a working holiday visa that allows you to work abroad in temporary positions not lasting generally longer than 3 months. But most backpacking destinations only offer this to people aged 18 to 30, and these visas are usually granted on a limited basis each year. If you get one, it will allow you to fund your trip and help break up the monotony of the perpetual partying, extreme sports, casual sex, and general hedonism that you will be engaged in while abroad. Now, some of you might be thinking, how will I get another job when I get back home? Well, in my opinion, if your prior work experience and qualifications are any good, then you shouldn't have a problem. But an OE itself can also add to the quality of your CV as a life experience and is definitely worth emphasising on there, as those hiring who have also done one will recognise your real-world achievement. However, most backpackers returning know that because they have been out of the country for more than 6 months, they can claim or sign onto the contribution-based job seekers allowance while they search for their dream job in countries such as the UK. You might find yourself walking to the shops, as you don't need to run the car every day, as you don't have to go to work. Or you could just sell it, bank the cash, and then buy another car later. But think of the plus points, such as an endless supply of time to do all the DIY projects and jobs around the house you never had time to do, or getting to know your wife again, and any kids if you have them, or them long lost friends, spend some quality time with them while you have chance. This approach might sound too radical for most people, but assume you have been meaning to lose weight and refurbish your house for the last decade, but have not had the chance to either, working your boring desk job in insurance or banking or whatever, then take 6 months off, and this could give you the opportunity to complete one long-term goal while renovating your home, and also through hard physical graft you will get fitter as a healthy byproduct, as well as going for some long walks in the sunshine, as time would not be a constraint anymore, or an excuse. You may also find lots of new activities while you are off, and that you will want to keep on doing even when you return back to work. If travel is not for you, then forget 28 days holiday per year plus statutory holidays, which is basic slavery, and take half the period off instead. By working in one full-time job for the first 6 months of the year, and because most skilled jobs are relatively well paid, take the remaining 6 months off of the tax year, then claim the tax back. If you don't need to work just for the money, then don't. I would also recommend taking 6 months off over the summer instead, as the weather is better and you may not be able to afford to go away on holiday as well as maintain your current standard of living, during which time you could go house sitting like I do for up to 4 weeks at a time and live in someone else's house or batch in another part of the country, and in return you look after their dogs and cats while they're away, so they don't have to pay for catteries or kennels, and the owners are very grateful for this service. Stop doing what you have been doing all these years, and by taking time off when you return to work again, you will enjoy it more than you ever did. If you have an understanding boss, then ask for unpaid leave instead, without losing your right to potential redundancy pay through continued service. Think about it, don't do all that bloody work anymore. Without recognition, take a break and regain some of your lost mojo.